poor couple found a nanny job paying 8 million a month, caring for an elderly lady, Sister Jin, who had a stroke. The job offered high pay, food, and lodging. Newly pregnant Arjen was thrilled seeing the luxurious room and flew in happily with her husband Archiang. But they didn't know Sister Jin had an extremely eccentric personality, making their work difficult. On day one, as Arjen fed Sister Jin, she knocked the food to the ground just because Arjen said a few extra words. When Arjen bent down to pick up the spoon, she noticed something hidden under the bed. Later, Arjen left Sister Jin's room. That evening, Arjen bathed Sister Jin. Amazed by Sister Jin's great skin at her age, she asked about her skincare secrets. Sister Jin didn't reply, staring out the window, making Arjen curious. She peeked out but saw nothing unusual. Then Sister Jin stared at the ceiling, looking terrified. She tightly grabbed Arjen's arm out of fear, leaving a mark.
Arjen had to leave to treat the wound. Suddenly, lightning and thunder struck again. Sister Jin shrank in the tub as a strange black liquid oozed out. The black liquid pulled Sister Jin's body out of the bathtub. Her body was dragged out by the mysterious black ooze. The dark fluid lifted her out of the tub, suspending her in the air. Hearing Sister Jin's screams, Archiang rushed in. He quickly carried Sister Jin back to her room. Arjen was out buying medicine. When she returned, she found Sister Jin's cat dead at the doorstep. After tending to his arm, he made supper for Sister Jin, fearing she'd be too heartbroken. Arjen admitted Archiang buried the cat. As he did, a shadow watched silently. Alone, Sister Jin's body changed. Black veins appeared. She convulsed. A shadow in her eyes. Jin's tears muffled her screams. She bled out. Arjen found her, screaming for Archiang. Archiang rushed in, confirmed Jin's death. He wanted to tell her family, but Arjen stopped him.
He feared Jin's family learning of their negligence and suing them in court. Arjen knew they'd be jailed if found out. The poor can't beat the rich. Archiang's parents and Arjen's mother were at home. They're all at home. Archiang's parents and Arjen's mum are there. After 2 hours of trying, they still couldn't unlock it. Exhausted, they fell asleep by the cabinet. When Archiang woke up, he tried the lock again. Suddenly, he heard Jing's beautiful singing. He crept to Jing's bed, but the body was gone. As he puzzled over this, the song started again. A quilt appeared on the floor with someone kneeling inside. He went to lift it, but then... It was as if he started singing. In that moment, he began to sing. It was surreal.
In that moment, he was singing. 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 In that moment, he was... Archiang woke with a start. He thought it was just a dream. He relaxed, then looked around. Terrified, he couldn't speak. He quickly woke Arjen beside him. When Arjen awoke, they saw no one. By now it was dawn. They saw Sister Jing's shadow.
After searching, they found the body under the bed. They couldn't figure out how it got there. Just then, the phone rang. It was Sister Jin's son calling. He said he'd visit his mother in the afternoon. After hanging up, the couple was at a loss. Suddenly, Arjen had an idea. Since Ah Chiang used to work at the hospital, he knew someone who could get formalin. They could inject it into Sister Jin to slow down the body's decomposition. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Sister Jin's son arrived early. Arjen quickly wiped the blood off Sister Jin's face, making her look neat as before. As soon as Arjen finished cleaning up, Ah Chiang and Sister Jin's son entered the bedroom. The son just wanted his mother's fingerprint to withdraw money from the bank for investment. He promised to repay her once he made money. He said he'd visit again on her birthday, bringing his eldest grandson. Before leaving, he reminded Ah Chiang to follow the rules as neighbors reported not seeing Sister Jin sunbathing today. To show they were caring for her, they decided to take her body for a walk early next morning, creating the illusion that Sister Jin was still alive. However, something puzzling happened again. Neighbors saw Sister Jin warmly greeting them, and she seemed to respond to them, even expressing a need to buy food. This baffled the couple, as the Sister Jin they knew wasn't responsive at all. Back home, they argued due to disagreement, but found cash falling from the pillow during their fight. This immediately reconciled them. Excited, they decided to check under the mattress for more surprises. Indeed, there was more cash under the mattress, 20 million in total, along with 2 keys. Arjun insisted they were safe keys, but Ah Chiang thought they should leave with the money tonight. But Arjun wasn't satisfied. Greed had blinded him. He wanted even more. Suddenly, the room went pitch black. When he lit the lighter, Sister Jin had vanished into thin air. Bizarrely, Arjen began singing out of nowhere, his eyes white, looking far from normal. Ah Chiang, terrified, fell to the ground. Then he saw Sister Jin standing silently behind Arjen. Yet the next day, Arjen had no memory of last night's events. Ah Chiang urged him to leave this eerie place quickly. The 20 million in cash should be enough. But Arjen didn't want to go because he hadn't found the safe yet. Ah Chiang angrily packed, ready to leave alone. Just then, Arjen found a secret passage. Greed made their heads hot once again. Without hesitation, they entered. In the hidden room, they found the safe. Ah Chiang spotted a photograph. It showed many children surrounding Sister Jin. Suddenly, ghosts appeared around Ah Chiang. Hearts raced. Ah Chiang's, Sister Jin's, over and over. Back to reality. But he couldn't see the ghosts, just felt lies all around. Arjen woke him. They heard steps upstairs and decided to leave. She went to her room to chat with her mother and then arranged for Kyung to go out and buy things for her. Ah Chiang was idle and bored and looked at the photos he had taken from the secret room. At this time, it happened to be seen by a neighbor. He said that the rumored Sister Jin is actually very old, and she used to have a lot of children. Each child's name means a number. The strange thing is that every time it comes to her birthday, a child dies. The name of the child who died last year is the number 99. That should be the 100th this year. Kwong's eyes widened instantly after listening to the neighbor's gossip. I can't believe that Sister Jin has 100 children. Kwong suspects that Sister Kim is using her child to keep her immortal alive. On the other side, Sister Jin and her daughter are talking and laughing. Arjen was very frightened when she saw them because in her eyes, Sister Jin didn't have any movement. She was so scared that she could only hide in her room and cry. At this time, Kwong happened to be back home. He wanted to get out of here as soon as possible with Arjen, but Arjen said that the safe has not been opened yet. He didn't want to leave now. Kwong told her about the rumors he had just heard from his neighbors. I am worried that one day they will be like Sister Jin's children, fall victim to her eternal life. But Arjen didn't get in the oil and salt. He said that there is nothing more terrible in this world than being poor. At night, the obsessed Arjen entered the secret room alone, attempted to open vault with several passwords. Just as she was engrossed in opening the safe, Ah Chiang on the other side woke up from his sleep and found Arjen slowly walking out of the bedroom and then squatting in the corner crying. But when he turned around, he was directly stunned. Obviously, this is not the real Arjen. Kwong had already begun to hallucinate, and the next day Sister Kim's son came to the mansion and he asked Kwong to kill a drunk chicken, and at that moment Kwong had hallucinations again. Please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, forward, reward, support. Spiegel and Diandian columns.
Chiang, who lost his mind, confessed everything to Sister Jin's children. He told them she was dead, injected with formalin to prevent decay. He mentioned finding 20 million cash, but then saw Sister Jin sitting on the sofa. On the 7th day, they argued in the kitchen. Jin insisted they were close to success and couldn't give up. Chiang wanted to leave this troublesome place, but Jin was too scared to go. Chiang reluctantly agreed to another attempt. They decided to act on Sister Jin's birthday, when everyone would be busy with party preparations. Sister Jin's son called another sister, urging her to hurry home. Unexpectedly, an accident occurred. Sister Jin's 100th child had a car accident. As Jin approached the secret room, Sister Jin stood up and followed her step by step. Jin was led to the underworld by Sister Jin, filled with her 100 dead children. Suddenly, Jin was forcibly awakened. Everything had been a hallucination. They quickly entered the secret room, tried multiple passwords, and finally opened the safe. It was full of real gold. They hastily packed the gold, excited to leave the mansion. As they escaped, Chiang's legs were grabbed by a pair of hands. Jin helped Chiang out, but they entered another space where Sister Jin's 100 children were celebrating his birthday. The children stared at the couple, slowly surrounding them. Only Jin escaped, but remembering good times with Chiang, he decided to go back and save him. At the gate, Sister Jin in red was waiting again. Jin offered the stolen gold in exchange. Surprisingly, he succeeded in rescuing Chiang. As they fled, Jin realized he had miscarried. His child's life was exchanged for Chiang's, extending Sister Jin's life. Inside, Sister Jin looked even more radiant and beautiful than before. That's all for the 2024 Indonesian horror film Devil's Pact. Thanks for watching. See you next video.